there are three important components that you have to remember. Number one is iron, number two, vitamin B12, and number three is folic acid. Okay, so these are the three components or the three important factors that helps in the production of hemoglobin, in the production of RBCs. Okay, therefore, and our iron content will be increased in the body. So we have done with iron. Okay, so iron supplements or iron components comes in the form of IV injections, or we can give it IM, and it also comes in the form of oral, that is a tablet form. Okay, so if a patient is anemic, okay, low hemoglobin in the blood, then such patients we prescribe iron supplements, okay, iron medications. So it comes in tablet form and it also comes in injection form. Okay, so today I'll move on with the next, that is vitamin B12 and folic acid. Okay, so these are called as the maturation factors. So deficiency of vitamin B12 and folic acid, which are B group vitamins. Okay, so we know vitamin B12 and folic acid, they are under the category of vitamins. Okay, I have taught you also in the previous classes. So vitamin B12 and folic acid, okay, they are under the group of B group vitamins. And if there is any deficiency, अगर vitamin B12 कम है या folic acid कम है हमारी body के अंदर, then it can result in megaloblastic anemia, which is, what is megaloblastic anemia? It means the presence of large red cell precursor in the bone marrow and their large and short-lived progeny in peripheral blood. Okay, vitamin B12 and folic acid are therefore called as maturation factors. Okay, so vitamin group B are very important because it has an important action in the bone marrow. Okay, and also in the peripheral blood. So if there is less vitamin B12 or there is less folic acid, then patient can have megaloblastic anemia. Okay, and vitamin B12 and folic acid, these are called as maturation factors. So is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so have you heard that in ladies who are pregnant, okay, pregnant women, in any trimester, it can be first trimester or second trimester, third trimester, the doctors, they prescribe folic acid. Okay, we give folic acid tablets to pregnant women so that there will be no complication in their babies. Okay, because lack of folic acid or less folic acid will lead to you can say spina bifida. Okay, spina bifida, it is a disorder in the babies. Okay, where their spine is not fully formed. Okay, they can deliver babies with with incomplete spinal formation. Okay, their spine are not fully formed. That is because of lack of folic acid. Okay, so that is why vitamin B12 is very important. Okay, vitamin B12, folic acid, these two components are very important in our body. Okay, because if these vitamins are less, then there can be complications. Okay. Okay. So yes. So let me tell you about megaloblastic anemia. Okay, so we know that megaloblastic anemia is related with the vitamin B group. Okay, and in megaloblastic anemia, we called it, it is a disease condition in which the bone marrow, it produces immature red blood cells. Okay, so what happens is in megaloblastic anemia, patients suffering from this disease condition, इसमें क्या होता है कि जो हमारी जो बोन मैरो है, ठीक है, they produce immature red blood cells. Okay, so they are not mature. Okay, they are immature red blood cells. So that is why we need to give more of vitamin B12 and we need to give more of folic acid. Okay, so that the bone marrow will start producing mature red blood cells and therefore our hemoglobin will increase. Okay, and patient will have, the patient's condition will be improved. Okay, so that is why vitamin B12 and folic acid are called as maturation factors because they help the bone marrow to produce mature red blood cells. Is this clear? किसी को डाउट है यहाँ तक?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So first of all, I'll teach you about vitamin B12 and then later I'll go to folic acid. Okay, so vitamin B12, okay, it is also known as cyanocobalamin. Okay, cyanocobalamin and hydroxocobalamin are the complex cobalt-containing compounds which are present in our diet and they are referred to as vitamin B12. Okay, so the food, okay, food content or the meals that we are having, it should have cyanocobalamin. Okay, it should have vitamin B12. Okay, so that it it will help in production of red blood, help in the production of RBCs. So daily requirement, okay, what जो हमारी body की requirement है on a daily basis, okay, it should be 1 to 3 mg. Okay, normally in a normal adult, it can be male or female, and if patient is pregnant or if the mother is lactating or is on giving breastfeed to the baby, then how much vitamin B12 is required? That is 3 to 5 mg. Okay, so you can see that in pregnancy and lactation, the amount of requirement of vitamin B12 is more as compared to normal adult, okay, male or female. Okay, so remember pregnancy and lactation, 3 to 5 mg is needed in our body, okay, daily. And in adults, normal adult, okay, normal female adult and normal male adult should be 1 to 3 mg. Then coming to the utilization of vitamin B12. So vitamin B12, it is transported in the blood. So whenever we give injection B12, okay, so you can see here, okay. So if we give injection vitamin B12 or if we give tablet B12, vitamin B12. So what is the action? Vitamin B12, it is transported in the blood in combination with a specific beta globin transcobalamin second number. Okay, so whenever we give injection vitamin B12 or whenever we give tablet vitamin B12, what happens is it will be transported in the blood, okay, and it will combine with the beta globin transcobalamin second. Okay, then vitamin B12 is especially taken up by the liver cells and it is stored about 2/3 to 4/5 of the body's content. It is present in the liver. So vitamin B12, when we give injection vitamin B12 or if we give tablet vitamin B12, okay, so the component will be taken by the hepatic cells or we call it as the liver cells. Okay, and how much content it is containing in the liver, how much vitamin B12 will be stored in the liver, that is 2/3 to 4/5 of the body's content. And how this vitamin B12, how it is being excreted mainly in bile and urine. Okay, so it is being excreted through the urine and it is being excreted through the bile. Okay, so this is the utilization of vitamin B12. Okay, orally, tablet form, sublingual form, or it can be in injection form. Okay, so let us see with the dose. So cyanocobalamin, okay, you can see here this you can see the injection form here, cyanocobalamin, okay. This is the chemical name. So the dose is 35 mg per 5 ml. Okay, matlab in 5 ml there is how much? 35 mg. Okay. Liquid, then 100, 500 or 1000 mg injection, Redisol. So with the name, okay, with the brand name called as Redisol injection, it has 100 mg, 500 mg and 1000 mg. Okay, and by the name of cyanocobalamin, okay, it has 35 mg in 5 ml. Then next is hydroxocobalamin. Okay, there is injection Redisol H. Okay, there is a difference between the two. So injection Redisol H, H for hydroxocobalamin. Okay, so what is the dose? It is 1000 mg. And next is methylcobalamin. This is a chemical name. Okay, trade name. It comes in the form of tablet Biocobalt. That is 0.5 mg. Okay, so these are the doses of medications, and apart from this, you can see here mecobalamin 1500 microgram sublingual tablet. Okay, so sublingual, this is not, we cannot take this with water, we can put this under our tongue. Okay, so this is sublingual form. And you can see here, this is an injection form. Okay. So that was about vitamin B12. Is this clear with everyone, with the dose, with the action, and about vitamin B12 and the daily requirement? किसी को doubt है यहाँ तक? Anybody has any issues with vitamin B12?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you remember the daily requirement, how much we need vitamin B12 in our body on a daily basis. Okay. And what is the dose of the injection cyanocobalamin? From these three, okay, the most important is the cyanocobalamin. Okay. And even methylcobalamin also is very commonly used in the hospital. Next, coming with folic acid. Okay, so folic acid, it occurs as a yellow crystal which are insoluble in water, but its sodium salt is freely water soluble. Okay, so folic acid comes, it comes in the form of yellow crystals. Okay, and in water they are insoluble, but in salt, in sodium salt, they are soluble. They are water soluble. Then daily requirement, how much we need folic acid in our body on a daily basis or daily in adult is more than 0.1 mg, but dietary allowance of 0.2 mg per day is recommended. Okay, so in adult, it should be more than 0.1 mg. During pregnancy and lactation, okay, 0.8 mg per day is considered appropriate. So this is the daily requirement in a normal adult and during pregnancy and lactation. So that is why, like I said, that when a patient is pregnant, okay, so it is very important that she should take folic acid tablet. Okay, so that there will be no further complication in the baby. Okay, with the growth of the baby, with the formation of the organs in the baby. Okay, so there will be no complications. Okay, so that is why folic acid is very, very important. Okay. Next, what is the utilization? Folic acid is present in food. Okay, so whatever meal or whatever food that we take, okay, the folic acid is present in the food as polyglutamate. The additional glutamate residues are split off primarily in the upper intestine before being absorbed. Okay, so when we take foods that contain folic acid, okay, the folic acid is present in a chemical form that is called polyglutamate. Okay, and this polyglutamate, okay, they are being split off, okay, they are being divided or they are being split off where, in which part? That is in the upper intestine. Okay, so upper intestine, we call it as the duodenum. Okay, duodenum, jejunum and ileum. Okay, so these are the small intestines. So it is being split up or it is being present there before it is being absorbed. Okay, so in the upper intestine, that is a place where there is splitting up of polyglutamate. Then what happens is, when it is being taken up in the upper intestine, then it is transported in the blood mostly as methyl THFA, which is partly bound to the plasma protein. Then folic acid is stored in the cell as polyglutamate. The liver takes up a large part and secretes methyl THFA in the bile, which is mostly reabsorbed from the intestine. Okay, so the liver also plays a very important role here, okay, because liver takes a large part of the polyglutamate, okay, and after taking the polyglutamate, वो secrete करते हैं methyl THFA, कहाँ पे, in the form of bile, okay, which is mostly reabsorbed by the intestines. Okay, so this is the utilization of folic acid. Then coming with the dose. Okay, so folic acid, it comes in the brand name of Folvite. Okay, Folvite or Folitab. Okay, so Folvite, Folitab, they are 5 mg dose. Then therapeutic dose 2 to 5 mg per day. Okay, and prophylactic means if we want to prevent any complications. Okay, if you want to take supplementary, then it is 0.5 mg per day. So that is the therapy, the dose that is required. Folinic acid, okay, calcium leucovorin. You can see here this injection. Okay, so it is 3 mg per ml. Matlab in 1 ml there is how much dose? 3 mg. Okay, and fastovorin 50 mg vial. So this folic acid, it comes in the form of vial also, and it also comes in the form of ampule also. Okay, so calcium leucovorin, you can see here in the picture. Okay, so this is 50 mg per ml. Okay, so it also has 50 mg per ml or 3 mg per ml, and fastovorin 50 mg in 1 vial. Okay, so these are the dose. Okay, injection form and tablet form. Then what is the deficiency? Okay, so if patient is having less of folic acid in the body, then patient can have malabsorption. Okay, so there will be the absorption of, you can say absorption of the nutrients. Okay, there will be less absorption of nutrients in the body. Okay, digestion problem hoga. Okay, so the whatever important nutrients that is required in our body वो कम हो जाएगा हमारी body के अंदर because of malabsorption, पूरा absorption नहीं होगा. So that is a deficiency. And number 2 is chronic alcoholism. So patients who are taking, patients who are on chronic alcohol, who are taking chronic alcohol, okay, who are on a regular basis, who are taking alcohol on a daily, regularly, who are taking on a daily basis, okay, so they also can have a lack of folic acid in their body. Then what are the nursing responsibilities? Okay, so till now I have done about iron. Okay, details about iron, what is their dose, what is the dietary requirement in the body. Okay, then I've taught you about vitamin B12, okay, and I've taught you about folic acid. So regarding the details of these 3 components, is there any issue you would like to, is there any problem that you would like to ask? Any questions? Anybody has any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So so coming to the nursing responsibility, okay, so every nurse is responsible for giving medication. Okay, so that you have learned in nursing foundation. Okay, what are the rights? What are the 10 rights that you have to keep in mind before giving any medicine? Okay, and specifically if you have to give hematinics, okay, if we have to give iron, tablets or injection, if you have to give vitamin B12 injection or tablet, or if you have to give folic acid injection or tablet. So what are the nursing responsibility? What are the roles of a nurse? Okay, so number 1, relating with vitamin B12, or we call it a cyanocobalamin. Okay, so patient with gastric ileal resection, or if there's any surgery, okay, any stomach, any abdominal surgery, or any surgery of the intestines, okay, if there's any obstruction, any infection, if there's any abnormality, if there's any polyps in our GI system, then we perform the surgery. Okay, so if patient has done any gastric resection, uh, any you can say surgery in the stomach, or any surgery in the small intestine, large intestine, if patient is having any small bowel disease condition or malabsorption, they require parenteral tubes. So they need injections, IV injections. Okay, so we have to be very careful when we give IV injections to these patients. Okay, injection vitamin B12. Okay, we have to keep in mind regarding the side effects. Okay, there can be patient can have allergic reactions. Okay, patient can have any other complications. Okay, so we have to be very careful when we give these medications. We have to follow the 10 rights, okay, monitor the vital signs of the patient. Okay, so these are some of the nursing responsibility, and we have to be very careful when we give injections to these patients. Then iron. Okay, if you have to give iron supplements to the patient, so the best is to give on empty stomach. But we can give with food to decrease any gastric upset. So the best way of giving iron supplement is on empty stomach. But then some patients can have acidity, or patients can have regurgitation or nausea, vomiting. So in such patients, we can give with food also. Okay, means after food. Okay, so that they will not have any acidity. Then we assess the hemoglobin level and bowel movement, as constipation is very common. So iron, okay, we have to check the hemoglobin level before giving before starting iron supplement, or before giving iron injection, we have to check the hemoglobin of the patient. ठीक है, so उससे से पता चल जाएगा कि patient की hemoglobin कितना है. Okay, if it is very less, okay, then patient also requires blood transfusion. Okay, but after and also after giving the medication, after giving tablet ferrous sulfate, or after giving injection ferrous sulfate, then we have to monitor the hemoglobin level. Okay, so we have to perform complete blood cell count test. And also we have to check the bowel movement, assess. Okay, we have to assess the patient condition. We have to ask about their bowel movement. Okay, so because constipation is a very common side effect of iron supplements. Then last is the folic acid. Okay, so folic acid, we have to be very careful, and we should not give in uncorrected pernicious anemia. Okay, so in such conditions, we should avoid um, folic acid. Okay, so let me tell you that pernicious anemia, it is basically a type of anemia where patient has less of RBCs and their body is not able to absorb the vitamin B12. Okay, so इसको बोलते हैं pernicious anemia. Okay, where patient's hemoglobin is very low, and also their body is not absorbing any vitamin B12, that is with cyanocobalamin. So such patients we should not give folic acid. Okay, so these are the nursing responsibilities, specific nursing responsibilities in vitamin B12 when we give iron and when we give folic acid. Okay, so is this clear to everyone? Anybody has any doubts still here?
I'm clear.